Talk about video games, me and my two best friends going on a mandate. On a mandate. Hello everybody, it's Wednesdays, and it's your favorite day, because guess what? You get a good taste of the Mandate Radio. Put it in your mouth and let it go to work. Okay, today I am joined, as sometimes and most usually, the Fitz Green that everybody knows, loves, and has no idea what he looks like, where he lives, or any of his social media connections. Fitz, number 1 in our dreams, number 37 in our hearts. How's it going?
To be fair, I'm the most lit up I've been in weeks on the little webcam thing. And
oh, that's true.
And I changed my Facebook profile picture for the first time in like 2 years today, so people know what I look like. Yeah. You changed it too the other day.
I did. I wanted to show off my beautiful face to people and make all the people who ever spurned me feel bad because I'm so beautiful. That was the plan. Well, it didn't work.
I just wanted to copy you and follow your lead because I have no independent thought. So that's why I did that.
Yeah, I mean, now we're like modern. We look like what we do now. That's a good feeling.
Yeah.
You know?
Modern Pete is best Pete, I think. That's what I've always said.
I don't know about that.
Actually, I liked freshman year of high school Pete the best.
Ooh, well, that guy, he was just a young thug, straight off the streets.
The streets of Brunseltucky.
The streets of Brunseltucky with his beard and his want for knowledge and baseball.
You were a very mature little boy. That makes any sense.
I was quite mature. I feel like I tell people that now, and they don't believe it.
Yeah, like, you just had to be there.
Yeah.
You just had to
be there. Sure, you were this height and had a full beard freshman year. Yeah, whatever, sir. Here's your McDonald's.
Not only was it...
Stop telling me this.
Not only was it a full beard, like, it was like, when I think about all the beard lengths you've had over the years, and I think about this a lot, mind you.
I don't blame you.
I think the first couple of years of high school was like the longest, like consistent period where you kept your beard like pretty long. Like you had a pretty like fluffy or I don't know scruffy. I don't know what the word is, but it was long.
Yeah,
at least 1/4 inch.
It was definitely a robust beard, and in my lineage of beards, that's one of my favorites. The worst one you never saw because you weren't around and I was in college, but I was walking around about 40 pounds heavier than I am right now, rocking a mustache and just trolling for poontang as one is to do in college.
Is that allowed to be said on this podcast?
Sure.
Okay. There's new rules now. Pete's in charge.
That one guy's not here, so
I'm scared.
That as long as we don't, I always thought as long as we didn't cuss, anything was within limits.
Right, we just have to be creative about it.
And now that Dad's not here,
yeah, the kids go wild with poontang.
I'm starting to realize this is exactly what he feared.
Let's drive it into the ground. I want to see pictures of that era, by the way. I need to see. Were you like still the manager of the basketball team at that point? Well, like
yes. So I was also wearing, let's say, jumpsuits like you would see an old Italian gangster wearing.
You're like a Bill Belichick on the sidelines with a gross mustache.
Yeah.
Just one color, like no stripes on it. Just maybe one little logo with the team on it. That's all you got.
Now that you mention it, I pretty much was Bill Belichick. Like, a lot of people in college, they're, like, in their prime. They're hanging out. Like, in college, I was not in my prime. I was just Bill Belichick.
You were miserable.
I was a horrible, miserable, mustachioed fat man.
But you were successful as hell. That's all that matters.
That's true. At getting that degree that I'm not using right now.
Yeah. Well, I'm not
American.
using mine either. Double major
That's true.
and honors doesn't matter. Not useful.
It doesn't matter. You know, screw college. We made it.
Yeah.
Where are we at?
I don't know.
I'm drinking in a top level apartment outside of downtown Columbus, right in the root of Ohio, as a man is wont to do with his future. So,
I'm
I'm
treading water in Washington, D.C., our nation's capital, and my head's just above the tide of student debt.
You know what? There's something about treading the water in Washington that seems the most American thing you could be doing.
Just hanging on by your fingernails.
Yeah, and just even the politicians,
Yeah.
the high power, they're treading water.
They're one misplaced phone call away from a gigantic scandal that brings their entire campaign down.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Or one giant misplaced espionage that brings into question your entire candidacy. But President Obama is going to go ahead and pardon the she-witch.
I don't know what a misplaced espionage means, but I love it. I'm trying to imagine that. I can't do it, but I tried.
No, I can't either. Fitz, how's politics? We got an open forum now.
Oh,
You
yeah.
and I are men of the... We're very eclectic and well-read, and we have extraordinarily robust torsos, so we could easily discuss politics.
Yeah, my torso's getting pretty robust of late. What was the question? Politics?
There was no question. It was just, let's politic.
Okay.
Bernie Sanders is on his way to win the superdelegates. And there's nothing Clinton can do to stop him except for not debate him. And that's why you wonder, what is she doing out there?
Hillary's trying to pivot to Trump in the general election, but Bernie just won't let go. He's hanging on. But I don't know. I don't know why these delusional people still think Bernie can win, because there's like a 0.001% chance that he can. But, well,
That is not 0%. So you're telling me he's doing better than Ted Cruz?
so you're saying there's a chance?
So, sure. I didn't want to use that line
Well,
because it's so rot.
I'm just cliche as heck, so I'm just gonna do it.
Yeah, it's okay.
I don't care.
It's probably still a worthwhile line. That movie came out 20 years ago, maybe.
I'm gonna tell you something, Pete. I quote things all the time. You know that. A couple weekends ago, I just kept quoting movies and songs like the whole time.
Yeah.
80% of the time, I have no idea what it's from, why it matters. I hear something, it triggers a word in my mind, and I just start singing or talking.
So you don't know what so you're saying there's a chance it's from?
I have no idea.
It's from Dumb and Dumber.
Oh God, what?
When he asks her, he says, "Do I have any chance with you?" And she goes, "You have like a 1 in a million chance." He says, "So you're saying there's a chance?" The theater erupted. People were stabbing each other in hilarity. It was like a cacophony of just hilarious jokes just flying around, and everybody died except for the one guy.
But he
who was stabbing everybody.
But he was the funniest, so
He was the most hilarious.
I like that you worked in cacophony there. That was appropriate, I think.
Thanks. I have a wide-ranging vocabulary.
Yeah?
With words like plethora and circumferences and amalgamation.
I have a friend that he's pretty smart. He's doing well for himself in his life, but he just tends to pronounce a few words like very wrong. And half the time he's just trying to sneak it by you, like he's like, yeah. they'll never know. Like they'll be like, wait, something was wrong with what he just said, but he tries to slip it past without noticing. And then other times he's just stupid. So there's the word. There's a thing called a catamaran. It's a boat. He calls it a catamaran, more like a
Catamaran.
like a samurai sword. That's what it sounds like to me.
Oi, Catamaran.
Yeah, exactly. So,
Melinda has a weird pronunciation of a couple things that I struggle to get over. But the one that definitely gets to me is, Fitz, what would you call somebody who is addicted to something?
an addict.
And that is what she calls it.
Yes. Oh my God! Why?
She's like, I'm not some heroin addict, you know. It's like, no, well,
It's like
nobody's that.
it's like she's saying the verb, like they are the verb instead of they are the noun.
Yeah,
They are addict.
that one's the one. That one's the one that I'm always like, what? Other than that, she pronounces most every word correct.
Yeah.
So,
and that's why you love each other.
That's why we love each other, because our pronunciation is just truly in fleek. So,
Did you say in fleek? Like
yeah.
did you make it French there? En fleek. Oh,
Oh, fleek.
I like that better. Truth be told,
It's way better. But yeah, so let's get into some personal stuff here.
Oh,
Fitz,
what? I wasn't
have
prepared for
you
this.
over the past 6 months thought about death or the impact it will have on you and the ones who seem to care about you around you, if it truly matters?
Nope. Let's see. Nope. Yes. I probably think about it too much. What's the point of this question?
Oh, curiosity.
Okay.
General curiosity. Well, see, the thing is, I spend about 30 to 60% of my day thinking about death.
That's a big range.
In general.
Okay.
Most of it's at work. You're just sitting at that desk. You've been there, for the last 7 hours.
Mm-hmm.
And you're like, I don't know if I deserve to die because I've already been experiencing death as I live and breathe.
Right.
And it's very confusing.
It's like the little death, kind of.
It's the death by 1,000 tax returns.
Oh, that's poetic.
Yeah, it's deeply poetic.
Well, I have a question for you. Then why, if you're contemplating your own mortality as you work 9 to 10 hours a day, why did you take your profile picture of you at your desk at work?
Oh, because every time I boot up Facebook, it's a constant reminder that we live in a perpetual prison of our own making.
Oh, thanks for answering. I really wanted to hear that.
See, I find deep joy in the saddest parts of life, and I think that's why I am able to exist so joyfully, because the utter sadness of our day-to-day lives is like perfectly cool to me. Like, I look at it and I'm like, it's incredible. Like, we're all just doing our best to survive through these like horribly menial tasks. And the funniest thing is to me that I don't ever see any of the money I make. Like, in terms of physicality.
Oh, you want a briefcase full of hundreds? Is that what you want?
Well,
would that make you feel alive, Pete? Would that make you feel like a big man, Pete?
It's just like I guess the tangible effort is the electronic transfers I make for things that I need.
Right.
But I think the true beauty is like we are just like clawing along our entire lives so that we can live our 5 hours outside of work. And I love that because I think it gives us meaning.
Oh, yeah. I don't like that, but that's just a difference of opinion.
See, I always feel like people who sit there and they tell me like work is like massively, it's the worst thing ever. Like, I never want to work. Those people are always the most miserable because they're sitting there and they're just like, what if we all lived free and we went and saw flowers and I love flowers? And it's like, you're not looking at life realistically. So you're just going to sit around depressed all day because all you want out of life is something that life isn't. And there's value in accepting the misery of life. And good luck, kids. Suck it.
It's almost like you're like happy sometimes and like miserable the next. It's almost like you vacillate between the two. I don't know.
I don't know what you're talking about.
Me neither. I don't know.
No idea what you're saying.
None.
You're speaking gibberish.
Yep. But I don't know. I don't want to be a person that just, works to live, or no, lives to work. That's the saying. But at the same time, I would like to find something that makes me feel fulfilled in some way, makes me feel like I'm contributing on some small, minuscule level to the grand scheme of things. And hopefully I will get there someday.
That would be nice. Yeah, that would be great. And I think you will.
Mm-hmm.
I think the shame of the way our culture is built, that it's very difficult to do that.
Mm-hmm.
That is the one thing. Like, if you want to be successful and live the life you want outside of work, it's often hard to then get into a job you really want.
Right. You have to pick one or the other, kind of. It's like, you can have every amenity and luxury you've ever wanted, but you've got to club baby seals 10 hours a day to do it. Or you can work for, 2 hours a day at the gas station and barely be able to pay your electricity bill. So, that's it. There's no in between. That's all you got. That's all she wrote.
That's pretty much it. I mean, I don't know. Like, I hope this has helped somebody out there.
Yeah.
Who was on the fence about whether life was okay or not.
I think we're pretty inspiring. So,
I think so. I mean, when you really look at us, and like honestly, now speaking as a man, I think we've done pretty darn okay for ourselves as human beings up to this point. Who knows? Like, we all could become corrupt, and you could start being the lawyer of people who show up on the news for doing terrible things, but they went to Harvard and stuff like that, and like you could be that lawyer, or you could be the lawyer who finally saves the whales from plastic.
I'm glad we're getting the male perspective on things. As a man, it's something that this show really lacks, and I'm glad you're finally bringing it to the table.
Hey, we have some female perspectives we could bring on.
We could.
I don't think that would please a lot of people.
What?
I don't know. This is a thought I've entertained in the past.
We have an audience to please? Why don't we just do it?
I'm not talking about the audience.
Oh, I understand now.
I'm talking about the general flow of the podcast. I'm not sure if it could take it.
Oh. Would there be too many cooks, you might say?
Too many cooks. Maybe.
Okay.
Too many cooks. Who knows?
Now it's going to be in your head all day. You're welcome.
It will be. Now I'm going to have to watch that again. Okay. So now that we've discussed the good, supple part of life that, we so often don't get to speak about, and our theories on that.
Yeah, because Frank's been keeping us down. Thank God.
Yeah.
Now I feel free.
We should move on to talk about some Vicha games. So,
man,
it's just me and you here. So let's start with you, Sir Fitz.
Who died and made you king and made me go first?
I'm the host now. I just make these decisions, I guess. This is the way it works, I've always heard. I haven't yet once seen somebody, like, in the podcast interrupt Frank and say, I'm going second.
Yeah, well, I feel like I can challenge you more easily because I feel like you enjoy it at some level. You like being
I do.
challenged. Yeah.
Oh, I love it. That is my whole relationship. It's built on challenging each other.
Yeah. Who can come up with the most hurtful joke?
Yeah,
That's something you would
that's
enjoy. What if we did that one
many.
day?
Ooh, that's a good idea.
What if,
We should do that for a rando segment.
or we could do it at Joe's bachelor party. That seems like an appropriate
Oh,
venue.
that's a good time to do it. Let's just verbally abuse each other
Yeah.
because
Joe will love it.
and it would be great because like I like that stuff and I don't mind people absolutely tearing me to shreds,
I know.
but everybody else would be suffering greatly while intoxicated.
Yep.
And
And you would be in your element.
yeah, I would totally be where I want to be, and then I would pick your guys' brains for your real feelings about me.
Oh my god. That's all a ploy. Okay. Anyway, I played a game. Are you surprised?
No way. It depends. If you say Dota, no.
No.
If you say Total War blank, no.
Oh, well, I was thinking about getting Total War Warhammer, but I don't have much money right now, so I did not. Maybe when it goes down in price. I've watched a lot of it. Looks really cool. I've heard great things. But the game I played was an indie game called The Wonderful End of the World.
Ooh. Okay.
It came out in 2008, so it's kind of old, but...
That's okay. I'm going to talk about a game from 2001 today.
Oh my!
The Wonderful End of the World. So this is always my favorite part of the show, when somebody says something I've never heard of.
I know. I played it just because I knew you would never heard of it.
Okay, what is The Wonderful End of the World?
It's basically Katamari Damacy, if anyone's ever played that.
Katamari Damacy. Do 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 do.
Yeah, it's you just
I know.
roll around and you pick up stuff. If it's smaller than you can pick it up. If it's bigger, you bounce off and make a weird little oof sound. There's goofy music, weird environments, and it's fun. I don't know. I feel like Katamari was much better done than this. It's like it's like a discount version for the PC. I would say some of the environments feel kind of recycled. Like they boast 10 levels, but really it's like 3 levels that have been reskinned 2 or 3 times. But it's cool because you start off really small. You're picking up little ants and tiny little buttons, and then you slowly get bigger, and then once you get like kind of towards the end, you are gigantic, and you're picking up everything, and the environment like opens up, and it's like, whoa, you see all this stuff that you were too small to even like comprehend before. So yeah, it was cool.
Okay, I like Katamari. I think I played We Heart Katamari,
Okay.
which was I think the sequel to Katamari Damacy for the PlayStation 2, and the magic of that game to me was always the gameplay was fun, and the controls were super weird, but it was the magic of like the king of the cosmos, the king of all cosmos, and the songs and stuff. Does it have that type of like beautiful weirdness going on?
No, it's not as weird and it's not as beautiful. It's a little bit more pedantic, everyday type stuff. It's like, but they do a few cool things. Like, I don't know, the one is like, you pick up a bunch of words and letters, and it's like quotes, famous quotes you've heard, or just tiny little proverbs or little sayings that everyone says. And but there's like 4 levels where it's just like you're in a small town, or you're like in the backyard, and then you get to the other backyard, and then it's a bunch of backyards. So there was one level though. It was basically like Pac-Man, but it was like it also combined a bunch of other like arcade games. Like there was Centipede in there. There was like Galaga, some real old school games, and you're just picking up all the material and stuff.
Oh, that's cool.
Yeah, And some of the music was good. I would say 50% of it was good, and then the other 50% was just kind of boring. Also, their music was like not long enough for the level. Sometimes you get like 100 like some seconds for each like time stage, and then sometimes the tracks would end before it was over, and then just like either just go completely silent or just start replaying from the beginning. So that was weird. Um,
That's always the worst, especially. I feel like that's absolutely unforgivable if you have a timed level.
yeah, and you know exactly how long the time is.
Yeah.
Like there's no mystery about it. You just do it. I don't know.
You cutting a 100-second song is not that hard.
And then the only other problem I had with it was like sometimes it seemed like you were much bigger than the thing you're about to run over, and somehow you just weren't, and you just bounce off it and get stuck like in the environment. That especially happened with like the ones that were moving around. So like little dogs and orangutans were in there for some reason, and people and spiders and snakes were the main moving creatures. And sometimes they would just run you over, even though you're like 2 times bigger than them, because you still weren't big enough. It was odd. But yeah, it was a nice hour and a half of play. I didn't unlock the last level, but I got all the other levels unlocked because I did well enough. And it was fun. Probably won't go back to it, but it was not a waste of my time. I'll say that.
Now, does it have the weird controls of Katamari? I don't know how much you.
I played like a
Katamari
tiny
Damacy.
bit. I've played Katamari a long time ago. I don't remember too much.
Did you play with a controller this game or
I played with
a mouse
keyboard, mouse. Yeah.
Okay, that I don't even think Katamari Damacy would work with a keyboard and mouse because you had to like flick the sticks like in opposite directions
Oh my.
to get rolling, and then when you wanted to turn, you had to go like and flick it in opposite directions that way, and if you wanted to reverse, you had to go both backwards. It was a super strange control scheme but eventually you like mastered it, and it felt good to do it.
Yeah.
So
This is just WASD, just strolling around, looking with your mouse. So there's no real nuance to it. I would have preferred that.
That would take a lot away from it, I feel like, because the control scheme was so important to me playing that game. I was like, oh, this is like mega weird. I like this a lot because it made you feel like you were like rolling the ball.
Yeah.
Which felt great, and pulling stuff off that like didn't seem likely. So, okay, so we love the end of the world. No,
we don't love anything. It's just the wonderful end of the world. That's it.
The wonderful end of the world.
That's it.
That sounds interesting. I'd check that out. I like Steam ripoffs of old classics.
Yeah? Is that up your alley?
Yeah.
Okay.
That's up my alley. Of like, hey, we tried to remake this PlayStation 2 game with a team of 1 person, so let's see how it went. It's like, yes, I need to know. That's awesome. I will tell Melinda that there's a ripoff of that because she'll like that because she loves We Heart Katamari.
Oh, really?
So,
cool.
Yeah. Is that all? That's all you
That's
got?
all I got.
That's
I
all
played
you got.
a little bit of Dota. That's all. Besides that.
Okay. Let's see. Do you want to hear about the game from 2001 first, or you want to hear about Overwatch?
Well, I'd rather hear about Overwatch, so we'll save that to the end.
Okay. I am going to start doing retro reviews as well as my main reviews.
Okay.
So I think that's what I'm going to use to fill my week gap on my YouTube channel where I don't have anything.
Okay.
So I'm only doing a video every 2 weeks.
Okay.
So I'm going to start doing retro games, and I think I'm starting with a game called Dark Cloud, and what I'm focusing on is kind of lesser known games from the early 2000s.
It's the worst name for a game I've ever heard.
Dark Cloud.
Terrible.
It's pretty on the nose because the whole thing is kind of about like this dark cloud cast over a city, kind of.
Okay, well, at least it's a good, apt name.
Yeah. The name's lame. The game is really fascinating.
Cool.
It's super weird. I played it before. I'm starting out with a few games I played when I was a kid.
Oh,
Uh,
nostalgia.
yeah. And Dark Cloud was one of those games, and I always wondered if it was okay. But here's what it really is. It is a mixture of like a super dumbed down SimCity
Mm-hmm.
and Zelda.
What? Okay.
Yeah.
I don't even know how.
It's pretty derivative. Okay, I'll explain.
Yeah.
Now the actual like gameplay and art design is really derivative of Zelda. Like it's very hack and slash dungeon crawly, like you're going into dungeons and you're killing monsters. I haven't seen a single puzzle yet, so that's different. But even the way the character makes his like fighting noises, they're like ha ha ha, and it's like
Just like
that's Link right there. But what you do is you go into dungeons and you can go to different levels. And each time you go into a dungeon, you don't have the next level unlocked yet. You have to kill a bunch of monsters because one is randomly holding the key to the next level.
Okay.
But as you go through each level, there are a certain number of orbs which hold part of your town, which was destroyed by an evil genie.
Oh.
And as you collect these orbs, you can start to rebuild the town, because there's only like one thing left in the town when you start the game, which is like, you know, the big mayor's office or whatever.
Mm-hmm.
And then as you get these pieces, you can start building the town however you want. But it doesn't end there. Like, the people all have specific wants. Like, they'll tell you they need certain objects, and you have to rebuild their houses. And they have certain requests, like, I want to be close to somewhere that smells like food.
Oh.
And you're like, okay, well, I got to find something here eventually that smells like food, and I should put it next to this guy's house.
Okay.
So I got to leave space there, and
So that seems like a lot more individual problem solving than SimCity ever was. Because SimCity is like, hey, let's just make sure everyone's got water and electricity. This is like, I need this weird thing, so do this, please. It's like, I don't know, more like a quest type thing.
Yeah, kind of. But the thing is, like, you're just going to go to each dungeon level. And I think you go 5 dungeon levels deep. And on the 5th level, you fight a boss fight. And here's where things get really weird.
They weren't weird already?
Because they weren't weird enough.
Okay.
The boss fights are rhythm games.
What?
The regular combat is just an action, like you hit X to swing your sword.
Okay.
And some of the combat systems are cool, like you can upgrade your swords, and you can put elements on your swords, and you can like ascend your sword to level 5, and then you supreme upgrade it like to the next level, which just turns it into a stone, which you can use that stone to imbue a new level and start upgrading that weapon. So that's weird, admittedly. But the boss fights are just, you get like a bar across the bottom of the screen that like shows you button prompts, and it just scrolls from right to left. And as you do it, like this weird early 2000s PlayStation 2 pixelated 3D graphics are showing, like of your guy like doing like really robotic flips onto the back of the monster and stabbing it.
What?
And if you get the rhythm game right, you win the level.
Isn't that even more like Zelda? Because wasn't one of them like you play your flute and like the notes go past and you gotta hit the notes or whatever? I don't know which one that is.
Yes, but that was just for like that was Wind Waker, and that was just for specific parts of Wind Waker, not like boss fights. Just like, I need to play the Song of Wind because we need wind to sail our boat. This is like, and then you'd fight the boss fights. This is like, you have to go and you have to actually play the rhythm game to advance.
Now, does the rhythm part of it like kind of match what your character is doing, or is it just like the rhythm part's happening and then like the guy's just hopping around like a madman, stabbing it like without any rhyme or reason?
It's totally not syncing up.
What?
It's absolutely. I think the first boss fight, it was like the introduction to the whole using
Concept.
the rhythm system, and it's like 3 button presses. But in that series of things, your guy like does a backflip over the other skeleton and like then stabs the skeleton in the back, and like all you're doing is saying like left, circle, square, and then it all just like takes place in front of you. It's super dumb.
Wow. Okay.
But that one's kind of a weird thing that I remembered from when I was a kid, and I was like, this will be fun to check out again.
To see like what your kind of educated video game brain thinks about it now after playing so many games.
Right. And I want to do that with more games, but my video game tastes back in those days were a lot less refined.
Yeah.
Like, I think I own like 70% sports games, because I was a kid. I didn't understand.
I was really considering playing NBA 2K10 on my PC and then just having that be my game for the week.
That's a good basketball game.
Yeah.
That's when my player like hit its stride, isn't it?
Yes. Well, actually I have 2K14, but 2K10 was a good one too.
2K10 was super good. Yeah. I like that one a lot. But yeah, Dark freaking Cloud.
I'm looking forward to the review. I'm looking forward to some weird stuff going on.
Yeah. That'll be like the 20th, I think, that'll come out. Because this next week I'll be reviewing Overwatch.
Nice. Now, go for it. What about Overwatch happened this week that you have to say?
I just still really love it, and I can't stop playing it.
Oh my God. That's awesome.
It's one of those games, and this happens to me only maybe once every few years, although it's happened to me each of the last 2 years now, is that I'll be like, okay, it's like 10:30, time to go get ready for bed, but I can play one quick game of Overwatch before I do all my stuff. Like, I got home, I'll cook dinner, I'll play one quick game of Overwatch, where before it was like Rocket League.
Right.
And Dota was never like that, because it was like, okay, I have to go to bed, I'll play 4 more quick games of Dota.
And then it's morning.
Even
for me, who loves Dota, like, sometimes I'm just, like, too tired for my day, or just, like, I don't feel like getting up the competitive juices to, like, go into the toxic minefield that is solo ranked matchmaking. I love the game, but sometimes I just don't have the fortitude to, like, boot it up. But this sounds like, it's always like, hey, let's just do a quick game, then you can go about your day.
Yeah, because even if you, like, lose, it's not that big of a deal. You'll feel like you performed at least decently well. I mean, I've played already, like, 110 matches, probably.
Okay.
Because they last anywhere between, like, 5 and 15 minutes, for the most part. And every time I walk away, I'm like, I lose more than I win.
Really?
And it's like, you can see your statistics. I've won, like, out of those 110 matches, I've probably won 48 or 49. Wow. So I'm, like, close to 50%.
I thought you would be better.
But I'm not good at first-person shooters. I'm generally bad. And also, you're going to get matched up against people who are playing as a group and, like, actually strategizing. Whereas I'm always solo queuing. So I have no idea what's going on. But I still just love it, because even if I'm only, like, doing 1 or 2 really good things in a game, like, they're just so much fun to pull off. Like, I have a good video of me losing a match where I got a, like, quintuple kill on 5 people with one of the alts, which was Hanzo.
Yeah.
I just shot his dragon into an alleyway.
Big old dragon.
And it murdered everybody.
Get those enclosed areas, and they're just done for.
Yeah. And it's like gorgeous when those moments happen where, because I've played a lot of the heroes, I haven't played everybody, but each hero has like kind of a thing, a moment where you're like, that was awesome. I was playing a game with Joe, and I was playing as Diva, who is the mech lady, and her ultimate is that she jumps out of her mech and it explodes after a certain amount of time. But she also has an ability that like lets her fly. So all these people are standing on a bridge above us, and I fly the mech upwards, and a jet is just hopping out. I fall below the bridge, and it's just on the bridge, and you can see all the players on the other team just start to panic because there's no escape, and then it blows up and kills them all. And it's stuff like that. It's easy to pull off certain things.
That's what.
But you can also sense a mastery of like the heroes.
Yeah. Those are the moments that made me fall in love with Dota. Like that one game where we had we were down and we had the chronosphere, the epicenter into the chronosphere that like turned the tide, and we came back and won. Like that was what got me hooked. So it's those moments that are cool. What's your favorite hero to play so far?
I really enjoy playing Tracer.
Oh yeah. I feel like that's everyone's favorite to play.
Tracer's a lot of fun and like a little bit weak sometimes, but it's just she has that like Weaver.
Yep. She's so much like Weaver. It's crazy.
I know, and it's great. It's beautiful because playing Weaver's like some of the most fun you can have playing Dota, where you just feel so slippery and
invincible.
I play a poor Tracer. Like I'm very bad at that hero right now because she requires like first person shooting skill that I just don't have. But I can still impact the game because I feel like I can get behind
get
people,
their attention,
and get their attention or distract like they're the enemy sniper or something, and just make something happen. Yeah.
Have you mastered that like ultimate that she has, like the sticky grenade thing? That seems hard to use, kind of.
I'm much better at it than when I started. Like, I've started using it more for single targets than like group stuff, but every once in a while you'll get a good sticky bomb on a group. There's like the thing that I'm missing is like when you have a team, and I've seen it happen to me, but never for me, is like you'll have somebody nail like a massive AoE ult, and then just every person on the other team will like throw their ult into it and just decimate the other team at a pivotal moment. And those are like those beautiful Dota moments. Just, when they happen, you're like, oh, it's so good.
That's awesome. So the role you like playing the best is probably just kind of the carry or nuker role, or like or do you like playing the support, or?
I pretty much anything. Like I think everything's enjoyable in that game. I think the one thing I would say is that the supports are weak right now.
That's weird because last time you were saying like no, people don't mind picking supports and they can like really impact the game and that they're fun to play.
Oh no, I would stick by that. I think there's just a lack of versatility in the supports. Like
they just all heal.
There's a clear cut best support.
Is that like, Mercy?
And it's Lucio. Best? Like Lucio's definitely the best. Mercy's the second best. And then the other two are like weird. They're kind of like they're semi supports in Dota language. Like the one doesn't even have a heal, which is really important. So she's just kind of like a defensive support. I think her name's in.
Oh yeah, she's weird as heck. I don't know how that hero works.
She places like sentry turrets and they slow, which is nice, but she can't like help out her teammates really. And then there's this other guy, and he can heal a little bit. I can't remember his name, and he's weird. He like juggles orbs and can throw like darts at people, and he can heal a little bit, but it's not enough. Otherwise, he like outputs a ton of damage, which isn't what you want out of support. So there's two really good supports, and I don't mind playing either of them. I think they're both fun. But it's just in contrast to every other position, which has like 6 possible people.
So there's just like, you have to have one of those in your team or you're probably going to lose kind of thing.
Pretty much.
That's
I did play a game the other day where we had a Lucio, and then we had 5 tracers.
Oh my god, that seems unbalanced.
And we won the game, so...
How?
I don't know, it seemed like they just had no idea, like, what was going on, and since they weren't that good, they didn't, like, pick very...
counter heroes.
Like, intelligent counters. So, you just have, like, all these tracers just, like, flying around the map, and just, like, darting behind people, and backtracking, and, like, there's no keeping track of who you were hitting at any given point in time. You're like, I think that one's low in health, but then you have Lucio, like, healing you on. His heal, when all your characters have only 150 HP, is, like, healing them up immediately. What? So...
Insane.
So, it's... yeah. And there's a bunch of those strategies, since they allow you to play the same hero on teams, that, like, there's a lot of versatility. That is, like, that game is the most fun I've had this year. Playing a video game.
Really?
Like,
more fun than Dark Souls?
Yeah. I think I've been pretty outspoken about the fact that Dark Souls, this was the weakest Dark Souls to me.
But you still love it.
But, I do. But Overwatch is, like, it's a freaking blast. I just love playing. I woke up this morning at 6 o'clock. I usually wake up at 7, and I just played Overwatch until I had to get ready for work.
You got like 3 or 4 games in?
Nice.
Yeah.
It's great.
I really want to get it now.
It's wonderful.
Really want to get it. Is it $40 or $50 or?
It's $40 on PC.
I will consider
it. Pretty good.
Okay.
So, I guess that's it for this segment. We're going to be right back with a little bit of an alternative segment from Frank's Fabulous Finds. A segment I like to call The News. Welcome back to Mandate Radio. I'm Pete. Fitz is here. He's hanging out. Fitz, how's it going? You ready to go into the news segment? This is a classic Mandate Radio segment done so many times. What's the word?
I'm hanging out down the street doing the same old things we did last week.
That's good.
Yep.
That's good. Don't change. Never change.
I never will. Just for you.
Okay, I got 3 good news stories coming your way, Fitz.
Hit me.
In New York, a suburban New York high school plans gender-neutral graduation garb, courtesy of the Associated Press. Port Washington, New York, a Long Island high school graduation ceremony later this month will feature gender-neutral attire. The spokeswoman for the Port Washington School District says all students graduating from Paul D. Schreiber High School will wear blue gowns and white stools. Spokeswoman Deidre Gilligan says the new approach was made at the request of a student who was not identified. The school's graduation ceremony is scheduled for June 23rd. Fitz, what the hell is wrong with America?
I don't see anything wrong with that.
Fitz, this country was built on the foundational values of men being men and women being women. Comment.
Are you trying to enrage me?
Fitz, you were quoted once as saying, I am a flaming liberal, and I want to hear your opinion on such ridiculous, almost terroristic actions by the gender-neutral community. Please.
Well, first of all, I wouldn't describe myself as a flaming liberal, and second, it may well be that the values that our country was built on was men and women, but there were many values that the founding fathers had that we don't share today, and I don't think we should blindly follow. They believed in slavery, for instance. They believed that a slave was 3/5 of a person for taxation purposes. I don't think we need to just accept every one of their precepts, even though they had a lot of good ideas. So, and transgenderism wasn't even like a concept back then. So, yeah.
So what you're saying is our ancestors believe in slavery.
I mean, some of them did. A lot of them.
Fitz, what if I told you... Fitz, please. Fitz, please. What if I told you that my ancestors hail from southern Italy and northern Ukraine and didn't come over here till the 1900s? You're accusing those people, those good, hard-working people, under the tyranny of oppressive governments, that they believed in slavery, that they have something to do with the American ideologies of slavery. It's stuff like this that makes me wonder if liberals, such as yourself, are just trying to cause controversy to get your president elected.
Yeah.
Comment.
I'm part of the Reddit conspiracy to get Bernie the nomination. And coming up in a few days, the internet's going to explode, and Bernie's just gonna vault to the top of the race. So get your pants ready for that. Also,
well, I have troubling news for you, Fitz.
please, your interjections, please.
Yes, please speak.
Your interjections are very distracting. No, I didn't mean to imply that it was your ancestors directly. It's more of like when we speak of the founding fathers, we kind of speak of them as our ancestors, even though probably they weren't for a lot of people. They were mostly English people, just off the boat, or just live in the U.S. for a few generations. And, of course, not many people are directly related to them, but we call them our founding fathers because they were the first people that were in charge of the country and built this country, and so we accept a lot of their values for our own because they had important ideas that helped make America what it is. Are we done with this yet?
I have so many retorts.
Yeah?
It's ridiculous.
Give me all your
But I need to leave them behind because my producer is telling me that we need to move on to the next subject.
Okay, so you're just going to keep, trying to poke the bear and I just keep answering in a calm, measured manner, or do I get mad too? What's happening?
I just want you to be you. You're acting
I'm
as
being
though...
me.
Okay.
This is me. I ask the questions of the puppeteer who is trying to manipulate me into something. And I want to know.
To move on to the next subject.
Move on, Producer Pete. Move on.
New scientist reports that this new genetic test predicts your success in life, but not your happiness.
What?
Okay. Next time you have a success, you'd better toast your genes as well as your supportive family, teachers, and pets.
Well, I won't.
Subtle variations across the genome could go a small way to predicting how likely a person is to have a prestigious job, a high income, to do better than their parents, and to have a likable personality. In short, to be successful. Daniel Belsky at Duke University in Durham, North Carolina, has been looking at data on a group of 918 New Zealanders, now in their 40s, who have been studied since they were born. Researchers have collected reams of data on these individuals over their lives, including everything from the age at which they started to speak, walk, and use a potty, to their movements, jobs, health, intelligence, self-control, and personalities. We have a rich picture of them, says Belsky. The research builds on a 2013 study looking at the genetic profiles of 126,000 people. All right, let's skip to the end here and read the last sentence. These are complex traits influenced by many sites throughout the genome, he says. If we select for them, we might also be selecting for other less desirable outcomes. So, as we got the whole scope of the argument by reading the first paragraph and last sentence, how do you feel about eugenics, Fitz?
Whoa! I mean, been taking some twists and turns, but I didn't see that sharp right. I feel pretty strongly against it. I feel like it's probably one of the worst outcomes our society could reach.
So you don't believe in the betterment of our society as a whole?
Not at the cost of, culling the less desirable people out of our population and just selecting for traits that are somehow desirable. I feel like that's just gonna make everything the same and uniform and stagnant, and it's just not something that's gonna result in something good. I don't know.
That was a rambling, incoherent mess.
Well, it got that way at the end, but before that it was okay.
If I create a world where my son/daughter and their beautiful blonde hair and blue eyes can live in peace and harmony with people of like intelligence, not splitting resources with these ape-like idiots of the lower class, then I am going to do my best to create that world by any means necessary, Fitz. And if you don't, then you don't want a good life for your children.
Yeah. Ape-like, huh? That's where we're going with that. We've reached a new low. All right.
We have reached a new low, and it's all your fault, sir.
Because I don't want my children to grow up in a prosperous society of like-minded individuals. It's my fault.
I have no knowledge of scientific studies that convince me that being a diverse country with many different people of many different backgrounds truly benefits us, other than socially and conceptually understanding people, as well as advancing mentally in our ideals. And other than that, can't find any evidence of anything. So you, sir, are a moron. Retort?
You know what? I have to agree in some sense that diversity for diversity's sake is kind of stupid, but I feel like there's some benefits that diversity can provide. I don't know. It's hard because I don't want to just say, hey, let's have like one of each person from every background to fill the quota of this, profession or this, school. And, that's where it gets kind of hairy. But I do think that overall more diversity can help to bring more different viewpoints and just better wealth of knowledge and ideas. And, you're just shaking your head at me. Just keep shaking.
You socialist, communist liberals, with your ideals of... All you talk about is ideals. And, in the dream world, this would be a perfect scenario. But you know what you don't have? Concrete answers on whether or not we should exterminate massive groups of people. And that's a large part of your issue. Make a decision, stick to it, and kill anybody who's less than you. Climb your way up the ladder. Actually, you should probably start killing people who are more than you. Moving on.
You know what? You are the one that's living in some idealistic fantasy world where we can cull all the genes we don't want and kill everyone that's not the same as you.
Moving on.
Yeah.
Okay. New article. Work life, personal lives, both spent desperately trying to appeal to women 18 to 34. Explaining that he's always trying out new tactics and carefully crafted phrases in an effort to connect with members of the demographic group, sources confirmed Tuesday that local man Rob Benson spends the majority of both his work and personal life desperately attempting to appeal to women 18 to 34 years old. Those close to the advertising agency copywriter said that whether he's at his desk in his cubicle between the hours of 8 a.m. and 5 p.m., or out of the office at night or on the weekend, Benson's time and effort are most exclusively directed towards cultivating an aesthetic and particular style of messaging that makes a lasting impression on young women. Moreover, the 30-year-old is said to stare single-mindedly at his work computer or his iPhone for hours at a time, frenziedly studying the behavior of 18 to 34-year-old women and attempting to devise specific lines that he can employ via social media that will resonate with them on a personal level. At press time, sources confirmed that Benson had taken a brief break from a work project intended to engage with recent female college graduates to head over his office's reception desk and try to engage with a recent female college graduate. Response, Fitz. Story via The Onion.
I was just about to say, this is an Onion article. My response. Where to begin? I don't know. It was kind of funny. I had a small chuckle. It was okay. They've done better. What do you think?
I think this guy is a sick pervert who's trying to bring people into his workplace.
Yeah? He's the worst of the worst.
He is the absolute worst. And with that, and curse you, Mr. Rob Benson, we will move on. This has been, thank you for being on. I was happy to completely own you on this show and really teach you the way, the truth, and the light. God bless this country. God bless the USA. One nation under God. Shove it.
Why are you always God on this show? What's happening? The last 3 episodes, you're God.
Anyways, we need to move on. So,
where are we going?
With that being said, we're going to take a quick break, and then we are going to come back with the classic Mandate Radio segment, Rando.
That's if I decide to come back. I'm seriously considering just staying off the air.
You don't want to hear me do a solo Rando. You don't want it, Fitz.
Actually, I really do.
All right. Moving on, next news article, it's Rando. Cold wind blows, nighttime falls, we are about to get Rando.
Welcome back to Mandate Radio. This is your intrepid host, Fitz Green, taking Frank's place. Pete's left me. I'm all alone. I'm miserable. Pete said he's going to take a poo in the loo. I don't know what that meant, but I also don't really want to know. And in his place, we have a very sick, coal-covered man standing in front of me. Oh my god. Do you have the black lung, sir?
No, I don't. I've just been working in the... I've been working in the mines down the road for a few odd years. And maybe you're right. Maybe I do have the black lung, but it's good to be here.
Yeah. Thanks for for stopping by. What exactly
No
are you
problem.
doing here? Why aren't you working right now? Aren't,
Well, I was looking for a source of fresh air, and
okay,
I walked by this apartment, and
yeah,
I just smelled the greatest vapors coming out of that place that I've ever smelled in my life. So
yeah.
I thought I'd go drink in the vapors.
We got some nice vapors here, just for passersby.
Yeah,
We don't even charge
yeah,
for it either. Um,
it's pretty delectable.
yeah. So, I mean, why are you here? Like, just I mean, what made you come up all the way from West Virginia just to get some vapors? Like, are we famous for our fresh air here, or what's the deal?
I never said I was from West
Oh,
Virginia,
I shouldn't have assumed. I'm sorry.
but actually no, I'm from Columbus. I work in the mines down the street
There's mines there.
from this place. Yeah,
What do you mine
there's
for?
we're mining for corn generally. Generally,
Oh,
we're a leader in the corn mine industry.
I've heard
But
some bad
you
things
know,
about corn miners. They really have a bad reputation around here, like violence, vandalism, general jaywalking. I've heard some really tough stories.
well, I'd be remiss if I lied and told you that I hadn't jaywalked a few times, but all
How
that other
dare
stuff is
you?
just it's urban legend. We did not cut the heads off of children in Southwest Ohio just for looking at the corn wrong. We
What?
do not drink we do not drink gallons and gallons of our own urine to survive. All these things are distant lies told by the anti-union people. So,
What?
uh,
Why?
yeah.
These are really specific. Why are you saying you don't do, sir? Are you okay?
I'm fine. Just from working in the mines all day.
Okay. So I just would wonder why you're saying all
It's
these.
tough life out there,
Yeah.
day to day, hour to hour, just mining the corn,
Uh huh.
and you just really, it's gruesome work.
Yeah. It
But
sounds like you've had a tough life. I just, I kind of wonder whether all that hard, backbreaking labor has kind of turned your soul as black as your lungs. I'm just a little bit concerned for my own safety here. Being as that I'm alone, I have
no,
no one else here to protect me.
no, I'm just a generally good fella. I did not come here to invade. I just wanted to lap up in my tongue some of that sweet vapor. And actually, I didn't live that tough of a life, so I would like you to not assume that. Um, my parents were really good people. Uh, they took care of me. They stayed married. Oh, they're going on 50 years now. My mother's 97. My father's 88. And they're strong as ever. They gave me every opportunity to succeed. But when I decided to go into corn engineering as a major, in the corn industry, was not doing too well in my hometown of New Mexico. Things got hard.
Yeah, it sounds like it took a turn there. What can you say about the legend, or maybe the confirmed reports, several confirmed reports, that the corn mines are littered with the bodies of former miners, and they reinforce the soil that helps the corn to grow underground. And without the deaths of these miners, there would be no corn mines anymore.
Well, I wouldn't speak on that as in terms of fact, but I've heard the legends myself.
Yeah,
What do they say back? That was back in 2010,
yeah,
so
all
that
the
was
way
a
back
long
there.
time
That
ago.
was a long time ago.
I can't speak about that
Yeah,
directly,
you've
but
only been mining for
uh,
what, like a year or something, and you already have the black corn lung.
about 22 years I've been mining for corn,
Then you
but
can't speak
not
on something that
successfully.
happened 4 years ago.
I don't know if that was in this area
Oh,
or
that was the
another.
New Mexico
Uh,
corn mine. Okay.
oh, was it? Oh, I know nothing about
Oh,
that.
I'm just speculating.
It's
I don't know.
it,
You gotta tell me.
probably not.
Okay.
I mean, I worked there for 22 years
Yeah.
in an attempt to engineer corn, and
Wait.
not one stalk grew out of the ground.
So you've been working. You worked for 22 years in New Mexico and 22 years in Columbus. So, been working for
That's right.
44 years. How
Yeah,
old are you,
I
sir?
said, well, I'm 70. I told you my mother is 97 and my father is 88. So
Oh, and they're still doing well.
they're still doing okay. I mean, my father was a successful investment banker
Oh,
and got out just before the stock crash of 2008 at the right young age of 79. And so, yeah, he's doing pretty well. And my mother, they say she's as fit as a 92-year-old, so they're doing
you know,
fine.
I'm just gonna ignore the obvious time problems you seeming to have here, and ask you.
Excuse
You
me.
know, it by some measures of success, you would be counted as being unsuccessful and not following in the footsteps of your father. What would you have to say to some scientists that believe you might? What?
Continue.
I don't
Sorry.
know what I was saying anymore. You just,
You said I would not be successful in the eyes of some scientists.
yeah.
I may have worked in the cornfields for 40 some years, but I remember how to listen.
Well, I thought you worked in a corn mine. I thought it was for 44 years.
Corn mine, sorry.
Are
Corn
you
mine.
like a cover? Like, are you covering up something? Like, is this some sort of like secret identity, or like you're not actually a corn miner? I feel like this is some sort of sham, and I can't see
No.
through it exactly. But there's something fishy.
Why would I come here to this empty house to get some fresh vapor air if I wasn't just a simple corn miner?
I don't know. That's why I'm asking you.
That's a great question. Let let's veer the conversation in a different direction, if you would.
I
You were
wouldn't, but
talking.
go for it.
You mentioned that I was a failure,
Well, I said some
and
people might think so. Yes,
some
some
people,
measures would.
and I understand the subtext. I was a Harvard grad. I know I know basic things. You see, I am an absolute failure. So I understand this, even though it pains me greatly. I I failed. So thank you for that. I simply walk in this room looking for some type of solace from the horrible lung I have, and all I get is somebody telling me I'm probably a failure. Have you ever shared in your life experiences with somebody? You've made me feel so small.
Um, I'm sorry. I guess. I just why are your lungs so like messed up? It seems like you have emphysema or something. But from what I understand, corn doesn't really cause much air pollution. What? How did this happen?
Oh, well, it's typically corn miner tradition to smoke a few packs of cigarettes a
Oh,
day on the job.
oh, it's an occupational hazard. I see.
Yeah, my health insurance won't cover it, but, you know,
I wonder
they say,
why.
hey, I don't understand this
Me
country,
neither.
this, this stupid
What an
country.
injustice for you. I'm sorry.
Now, I will say, for those of you out there who have an interest in corn mining, the benefits and the glory of corn mining are great. The union protects us pretty well. We make about $57 an hour.
What?
Uh, we get full medical, full dental, a full pension plan that pays us out our entire salary for every year after we retire.
Wow.
Yeah, so
Maybe I should just quit
it's
law school and become a corn miner. What do you think?
no, you definitely shouldn't. I mean, you're definitely too weak to smoke the amount of cigarettes it takes every day to be a corn miner.
I mean, what would happen if you just like bucked tradition and just decided to mine the corn without a cigarette in sight? What would happen? Would they like attack you, your fellow workers, or would some ancient curse strike you down? Like, I can't imagine something that bad happening.
Well, I never really thought about it.
Yeah, as a Harvard grad, I would think like you might start to think about some of these things.
Well, I'm more of a logistics guy, so also like I got a 2.3, so I don't think that's very good.
Logistics.
Logistics. Which is the istics of using logis.
Yeah.
And I was pretty good at it.
Yeah.
But I guess, I mean, now that you mention it, only about half of my coworkers smoke that much. But Jim and John and Jerry were all very insistent on me joining in on the fun. So
yeah,
they said, "Hey there, Mr. Corn Miner. What if we smoke this much? Let's see who dies first."
That's quite a game of chicken you got there.
Yeah. Well, now that they're all dead, I guess I should probably quit.
I guess you won. I mean,
I never thought of it.
Some might think that you could have possibly killed them to win this little wager you had with your three coworkers. I mean, is there any other possible explanation other than you murdered them in cold blood?
I think, well, maybe, I don't know. They died in a horrible corn accident.
Yeah.
Luckily, all their life insurance policies were written out to me, which was a really good deal.
Yeah.
But I gave all that money away to charities.
That's a strong defense.
And their children.
Yeah.
So,
well,
all of it. Literally every penny went away because, honestly, I'm rich from all this coal mining. So
coal mining?
I ain't got corn mining.
What do you mine, sir? I don't know anymore. I don't know anything about you. I don't know if any of the words you've been saying to me are true. You said you went to Harvard, but you say logistics, and you smoke like a chimney, but you mine in a cornfield? I don't understand any of this. It seems
Sir, I think you should turn the mirror on yourself for a minute.
Yeah?
And realize that a guest came in, sat down, came to talk to you. You never even asked his name. Now, what kind of man does that?
Oh, wow. You got me there. I'm a selfish person.
You just saw me as an extension of yourself, as human beings are wont to do.
Are you like an allegory or something? Like, do you even have a name? Are you just like some symbol for my own selfishness, or are you real at all?
Fitz, I want you to look.
I'm looking.
I want you to see the part of you that's inside of me.
I don't like that.
I want you to see your future.
I don't like any of this.
I want you to tell yourself that maybe after you graduate from your prestigious university, you walk away. Ask yourself, is this the future you want?
Yeah, I needed more self-doubt in my life. This is good. This is what I needed.
All 3 of your friends have died.
What?
All 3 of the closest people you knew to your heart have died. Because you guys got a little wiggle-waggle contest over who could smoke the most cigarettes. Consider yourself, Fitz. Just for a minute, stop looking at everyone around you. Look at yourself. Ask yourself, am I the man that you want to become?
No, I think I'm gonna say no. I'm gonna go with no here.
That's right. My job is done.
Okay,
Um,
you did it.
that'll be $270.
Oh, you drive a steep bargain, Mister Corn Miner.
I
Nameless
mean,
corn miner.
how much would you pay for self-realization of that quality?
About tree fitty.
Okay, well then I'll take 350. That's fine.
All right. Well, it was actually $350, so you really made out like a bandit there. You're lucky that I've
Yeah,
learned my lesson and become less selfish.
that's good. That's really what I'm here for. But really, I'm just down the street mining corn and looking at making extra buck.
Wait, so
But
you're real now? I thought you were like
I've always been.
I thought you were like part of my imagination that just kind of crept in here and made me look in a mirror.
No, where are you living in? Some kind of fantasy world where there's just a bunch of gods who show up on your show and weird people who have mystical powers. I'm just some guy. I just was looking to make an extra buck. You're a weirdo, friend. I gotta get out of here. You're freaking me out.
Yeah. Well, I don't know your name, but farewell, friend. I hope to never see you or your ilk again.
My name is Stan, and that's all you need to know.
Can I have a last name, or you?
You don't need it.
Okay.
You'll find me when you need me
I don't
most.
want to find you or need you.
Doesn't matter. Nobody finds anybody on this podcast, anyways.
Truer words, friend.
But
Truer words. Goodbye, Stan.
if I goodbye, make support the union.
Okay, I'll make sure to pay my dues next time, and I'll make sure to donate a few dollars to corn lung research. Doesn't get enough attention. Anyway, well, I hope Pete comes back soon because I'd like to talk to him about whatever the heck just happened there.
Hey Fitz, it's me, Pete.
Oh,
I'm back.
well, that was convenient. You just came back.
It's strange the way that works, but yeah. Stan came over.
Oh, yeah. I was trying to figure out the whole time if I was just having some weird peyote hallucination or if he was like real.
Oh, he does that. He talks in a lot of like seemingly parable type sentences, and he kind of tricks people into thinking he's like more than he is. But he's just from down the street.
Yeah,
He's just a homeless
he's just
guy.
salt of the earth. Oh wait, he's homeless? Thought he had a job
Yeah.
and stuff.
No,
Oh, oh,
no. He made up a profession for himself that doesn't exist.
oh. Well, he could have fooled me. Corn mining is a profitable industry in southwestern New Mexico City of Ohio, Columbus.
Yeah, he's severely schizophrenic, so
What does that say about
You
me
know.
then? That I believed him.
I'm not sure, but that is disturbing because that guy, the minute you see him, you're like homeless schizophrenic man.
Well, I try not to judge people and be selfish. So, if anything that I've learned today, it's that thing that I learned.
That's good news.
Yeah.
Okay, I guess we could wrap this show up, and yeah, move on to next week. So any big game plans for next week?
Well,
It was a new thing I'm
if
doing.
I find $40 in my couch, then I'll buy Overwatch and we'll play together and we'll talk about it.
Okay, good enough for me. That game probably should be a free-to-play game.
Yeah.
But doesn't need to be.
Well, don't they have cosmetics and things you can buy, or like the Dota model?
Yep.
Yeah,
But also there are over 7 million people playing that game right now.
Wow.
So there's no reason not to sell it for $40 or $60 if you're playing on the console, because I'd imagine a lot of people bought it for consoles. So yep, Blizzard / Activision knows business, and so they sold that game at a price.
It's almost like they were trying to make money.
Sometimes it seems
I
that
don't
way.
know.
It's super
That's weird.
annoying. But yeah, okay, that'd be awesome. Otherwise, I should be playing a weird other PS2 game that's not Dark Cloud. And if you want to do some prep on it, it's called Shadow of Destiny. So,
Oh, God.
believe.
Where do you come up with these things?
These were games I played when I was a kid. So
You just pick the most epic sounding video game names. You're like, yeah, this one's going to be good.
Looking back at these games, I was a weird kid for ever wanting any of these. But the funny thing is, I played none of like the really good titles from that era, but I played all the weird like.
You were a hipster
stuff
even
on
back
accident.
then. Wow.
It had nothing to do with anything. It was just like, yeah, they were probably cheaper or something. There was probably a reason. There had to be. So, anyways, we can pimp and get out of here. If you want to reach us on Twitter, we are at IndieGames AAA. I personally am at Basic. Frank is at Snellog74, and Joe is at JFitch867. Fitz does not have a Twitter, but he did just change his Facebook profile picture, so if you can narrow down the algorithm to people who have only changed their profile picture in the last 2 days, named Fitz, you might be able to find him. Otherwise, you can email us. If you have a game, we're press at IndieGamesAAA.com. You can email me, Frank, or Joe, Pete, Frank, or Joe at IndieGamesAAA.com. Nobody ever emails those addresses, so don't bother. And if you want to get your question read on the podcast, that's Mandate Radio at IndieGamesAAA.com. Other than that, you can check out my YouTube channel, which is Basic Reviews.
Sell out.
And that's all
Sell
I got.
out.
So I am a sellout. I'll gladly admit it. Here's an interesting thing I'm going to do, though.
What? I'm ready.
And nobody's made it to this point in the podcast, so it's just going to be me and you. When I have the chance, which I'm hoping to talk to Frank and get the chance, I'm going to start posting the podcast to our YouTube page, the Indie Games AAA YouTube page.
That seems like a good idea.
It won't be hard. It will only take a couple minutes. It's easy work, so I'm going to start doing that. So you can also check out our YouTube page, Indie Games AAA, on YouTube. And the podcast will now start going up there, as far as I have the power to do so.
You're becoming integrated.
Yeah. I'm trying, man. I figure, actually, we'll probably get more views there than anywhere else. So, yeah. Fitz, any parting words for the good people of society? Any encouragement for the young liberal out there?
If you see a corn miner walking down the street, hacking his corn lungs out, just please stop and share a few words of wisdom with him. That's all I ask.
Yeah, Stan is a wise man. Okay, thanks for being on the show, Fitz. I look forward to talking to you again next week, and in between that, in our personal lives. But we won't
that doesn't happen.
That.
What? We only exist on this podcast for the entertainment of other people.
As far as
we
I
don't
know.
have other lives. This is it.
Yeah, pretty much. Oh, and just a final word until next week. This has been Mandate Radio.
Bye-bye.
Me and my two best friends are going to talk about video games. Me and my